Hello everyone and welcome to today's overview of Polyplex in Reactor. This is part of the Native Instruments Complete bundle. My name is Mark Antonaudio. We're going to have a run through of this really cool drum machine slash sample player and some of the real cool creative possibilities. So basically it is in its essence a drum or beat or sample based machine. But it has this really cool gimmick of dice rolling, aka randomization. So let's say I hit this button here to randomize. So just by pressing a single button, you can completely change the sound of everything. And this is a much more organic and fun way of going through sounds than just opening up presets or looking through sample libraries or whatnot. It's a really fun and organic way of doing this. But the randomization goes quite deep once you get into it. So you'll notice down here all these dice roll buttons, these color coordinated dice, and next to them there are buttons that can be lit up. So basically what happens, as you can see here on my kick drum, this one is lit up. My snare drum, however, is not lit up. So when I hit the randomization button, I will get a new kick with the same snare. Which is quite cool if you've got a couple of the samples that you're liking, a couple of the pads that you're thinking are good, and a couple others that you want to change. You can say, yep, I want to keep this one, and this one, but I want these ones to all change. It's a really fast and fun way of auditioning new sounds. So let's go a little bit deeper. So let's have a look at our snare drum here. So each sound is made up of 4 layers, which are shown down here. So currently only 2 of these layers are audible. So this is the on-off switch for each layer. Okay, so let's have a look at each layer. So this top one here, this button here is a forward or play forward or play backwards. It is of type snare clap, so you can choose whatever type you want. If it's toms, percussions, random one-shots, whatever. Let's just stick with snare claps just now. And then there is a subtype in that group, like acoustic, analog, digital, claps. Let's just choose claps. And then here is basically a quick way of choosing a new sample. So I think there's 128 samples in each of these little banks. So lots of different sounds. So then you can do other stuff like pitch, a start point, and pan, as you'd expect, and then a volume, and then you can click onto the next tab here to go to envelope. So you've got like delays, set attacks, decay, release, stuff you'd expect, and then we have EQ. Cool, so you can really simply audition that new sound. So that's just one layer, so you can then add in 4 layers, a total of 4 layers, and then you have your one big full-on sound. So if I hit my randomization button on my snare, you'll see all these things change. Well, when I say all, I don't quite mean all. So if you notice, this section down here will not change as much as I click this random button. That's because this little icon is lit up. So I can click that, and suddenly this is going to change as well. So not only can you choose to get like a new, a new snare very quickly or a new kick very quickly, you can choose to just create a completely new sound by letting this into the randomization. So likewise, you can go over here to randomize which tracks will stay muted, or which layers rather will mute, or which ones won't, which ones will be played in forward or reverse. Then you've got phase inversion, stereo buttons. So very quickly you can create new sounds. Okay, so from there what you have is all these other dice roll buttons. So if you want to just re-roll like a certain section, you can re-roll this one here, re-roll that one there, re-roll your samples, your pitches, your starts, your pans, everything, and that will just re-roll that section. So if you want to addition new sounds, but you don't want the pan to be changing every time, so let's say just now, our pans and everything are going to change. Actually, I don't like to leave this button on because it mutes some of the tracks. That one's quite annoying, right? So what you can do is deactivate that, and then all your pans will stay the same the way you like them. Or you can use this little slider here to basically choose a range that they will randomize in so they don't go too extreme. However, I feel this bit's a bit buggy. It doesn't really seem to work quite the way I would expect it to. So I tend to manually adjust my pans to taste. From there, there's more weird stuff you can do. So down underneath each of these sections, we have basic kind of LFOs and envelope controls, things that we can use to adjust these parameters in real time or have them modulated. So we have our snare. I'm going to turn down the volume of that snare just a little. So I'm going to choose an LFO. I'm going to select an amount, and you can see straight away that there's some modulation going on here. This spread slider here basically chooses different patterns and different amounts for the pitch. So you can also have that the same effect created by an envelope over here. Or by, I think this is velocity sensitivity as well. And you can do that, the same modulation techniques for your pitch, your starts, your pans, delays, all this stuff, all these parameters you can see on screen here. One thing that is quite peculiar is there's no randomization buttons for these modulation sections, which seems like a bit of an odd oversight, because if anything, if you want to create really out there wacky sounds, then randomized modulation on stuff would be a fantastic way to achieve that. So I hope that's something that they update in the future. The last thing about this plugin is it also has some global effects stuff. So it's our snare here. We can put in insert 8, which is this one here. There's a bunch of different effects. Then we have our sends, send 1, send 2. I think send 1 is our reverb's already activated. And send 2. And you can set those parameters for each of your sounds. So all in all, I was really pleasantly surprised with Polyplex. I tend to be more of an instrument guy rather than a drum machine and beat making kind of guy. But I've just had so much fun with this. It's really creative and very fast to get into a groove. And when you start to load in your own samples, this is Reactor, you can load in your own samples. If you start to load in, say, some bass lines or Rhodes pianos and stuff, and then, start building up sort of hip-hop beat kits, essentially, it's a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoyed this overview. My name is Mark Anson Audio. Adios.